Release the Kraken. And by that, I mean the FBI has dropped their investigation on Kraken founder Jesse Powell, but more on that in a second. Welcome to Cryptocurrents, the weekly podcast of people working in crypto and blockchain, talking about everything you need to know in crypto and blockchain. Think of us like the front page of Reddit. We're changing every time, and we're only giving you the best stuff so that you know exactly what you need to do. I'm your host, Vince, and today I'm joined by our resident degen, Kale, from the Encrypt team.
What's up?
And Katya from the Mew team.
Hey.
So we'll talk about Kraken in a bit, but I want to talk about the Coinbase wallet rebrand to Base app. So last week we all speculated on this, what it was going to be. We said personal financial app. We said, they were going to do an all-in-one app. And none of us really had on our bingo cards they were going to change the logo from a circle to a square. But yeah, so if you haven't watched the thing from the Base team, they did a hour-long live stream where they talked about rebranding the Coinbase wallet to the Base app because they're just leaning into the brand that is currently working, which I don't blame them for. And they're basically building, as far as I can tell, apps within the app. They're going to be rolling out social, like some sort of Twitter thing, text messaging, all within the Base app. And I think this is all very silly and stupid, but I want to hear your guys' opinion before I really weigh in. Kale?
I don't know, dude. Honestly, I see where you're coming from. It does, a part of it feels silly. But I don't know, I love any type of innovation, So basically what the Base app is, basically it's like Instagram and Coinbase wallet combined. So it's like you can post things as if you would on Instagram, but it's on chain. And so creators can get paid for the content that they're posting. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a new way for content creators to get paid. The mechanism design isn't really, I don't think they found the right way to monetize content creators yet. But like I said, innovation is innovation. I think it is a step in the right direction, like I like to say. But yeah, in its current form, it does feel kind of iffy to say the least.
Yeah. I feel like this is not innovation. This is just iteration. They're trying to take something that quote unquote works and shoehorn it in and put it on chain. And my biggest gripe is that this is not going to move creators off Instagram. This is not going to move followers off Instagram. It's just going to be like this microcosm of a subset of a degen thing where they're just posting toes and titties all day for crypto sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's I think it's innovative in the idea, at least. Maybe the tech itself is just iterating on itself. But yeah, like I said, I don't think the monetization mechanism is perfected yet. As it works right now, every single post becomes its own token. So
every single post?
Yeah, so imagine I'm a content creator and I post something on Base. Let's say people are speculating on my post. It's worth $100 now. If I want to see that $100, I need to sell the tokens. I need to dump it on my fans, basically. And that's how I make my money as a creator. So I don't know. It doesn't seem sustainable. It's literally just creators dumping on their fans. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Katya, what are your thoughts?
Sounds absurd. I wasn't clear on this aspect of the every post being a token, but that's just ridiculous. It's yeah. I don't think any creator is interested in that because it sounds like not only are you putting out the content, then you have to manage these tokens. You have to do this trading or whatever it is, and then every time you have to do it all over again. Like, that's not what creators want. They just want, like, the $10 deposited into their, little bank account or wallet, whatever. But like, they don't want to, no. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's funny that, like, I think from last week, all of us were kind of right. Like, Kale said it would be an everything app, and check. And I was concerned that it would be some bullshit thing, and also check. And like, and Vince, you said stocks, right?
I did. So I was the most wrong.
Well, because you're a serious grown up, and that's what you. And apparently, that's not what's happening over
Not
at Base.
again.
Not in this
Not
industry.
again. No, yeah, no. Like, I've said this before. Like, I am not interested in everything apps. I am not interested in gamifying my financial experience. I am definitely not interested in more Instagram in my banking app. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. And I think, like Vince, you're saying, like you said, iteration. Remember when in-wallet messaging was a thing, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, there's messaging. You get a little handle, and you can text other people." And all, of course, it was a lot of spam and just ridiculous, useless stuff. I think it's an iteration on that. They are using Farcaster, right?
I
I
don't
think so.
know.
Wait,
I
sorry,
think
I
it's
missed this. What's in Farcaster?
Are they using
I
Farcaster to power all this? I feel like they're using
Oh,
their own thing.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's Zora. They're using Zora as tech. I'm
Zora.
pretty
Okay,
sure.
because I was gonna say that if they are, then here's another thing that they. What was that platform where you could, like, tokenize yourself and sell tokens? What was that called? Do you
There's
remember what
been
I'm
like
talking
there's been
about?
a bunch of versions of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that failed. So
Talking about friend tech.
Sure.
maybe, yeah, one of them. So I think there's been a bunch of this kind of stuff that in the end just was not not it. And I feel like this announcement is just taking a whole lot of things that weren't it and stuffing them together in one app and being like, but that, uh,
One big not it pie.
nope.
Yeah. Part of me wonders if they're running scared. Like, kind of all of this felt like reactionary to Robinhood, like doing their big announcement, which was a lot more classy, a lot more focused, and certainly had a much greater impact on their user base, stock price, and engagement. Um, as opposed to a French Riviera, this was at some podunk theater in Los Angeles. But at least they had Gary Vee, who got on there and just,
Oh my
said the
God.
same nonsense that this absolute grifter always says, which is always common sense and good. But he says it so emphatically, people are like, oh, you're a genius. But he's not, with his dumb little Gary Friends shirt. Still shilling
Be
those
friends.
NFTs, man. V from whatever. Absolutely absurd. And everyone acts like that guy's a genius. It's so silly.
Do you guys remember a few months ago when Jesse Pollock from Base went around the streets of LA and was asking people if they want to get on chain for $50, and he like couldn't get anyone?
No, yeah, no,
No,
I remember
So
that, and
you
like
brought
just
it
the
up,
look of
but
him, yeah, like the look of him. I watched the video that you sent, and like I would run the other way, 100%. You wouldn't have to ask me anything, and
well, they did it again after the space app launch, and this time he's like much less cringe. He got it down pat. He has the opener. He has people down to try it. So yeah, they did it again, and he actually succeeded this time.
well,
And
I mean,
I'm surprised that, like, Coinbase, like, there's serious people over there. Like, there are a lot of them. They have a lot of money. They're wrangling the government. All this. They are like, I mean, at least they're making a good show of being grown-ups over there. Why are they messing with this? Like, I don't know.
I think it's what they've kind of just seen working as far as like attracting the degen crowd, attracting the builder crowd, because, as someone that very rarely uses the Coinbase app hasn't really changed in the last 6 years. Like, they're not
Mhm.
innovating or developing on the tech side, probably because they're an AI first thing, I would assume. So if they're like, well, people are building stuff for free over here, we can like lean into this, I
So
guess.
it's there. How do you do, fellow kids? That's what you're saying.
Kind of how I feel.
I kind of feel that way too, honestly. I can kind
Okay,
of see
well,
that.
I mean, I opted into the beta, so I'm just waiting for my base app to say, "Here we go. Let's start tokenizing your little photos and tweets and whatever." And it's all going to be a bunch of stolen content. I'm calling it now. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Genius Act. Kale, I asked you to come and prep on this for me, so talk to us about the Genius Act.
Yeah, so it should be called the Idiot Act.
Oh wow!
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Strong opener.
I saw somebody else say that, and I thought that it was really funny. But anyway, so Genius, it stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. Right. So it's basically it establishes guidelines for stablecoins, which didn't exist before. It lays out a bunch of rules on what stablecoin issuers are allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do, what's required of them. So yeah, it's just a bunch of rules, like 20 plus. The two that stood out to me are I wrote them down. They're right here. In the event of an insolvency, a stablecoin issuer. Sorry, I'm messing this up. So I'm just gonna say it off the top of my brain. So
Okay.
if a stablecoin issuer goes insolvent, the Genius Act prioritizes the holders over the creditors. So that's kind of nice. The second thing that really stood out to me, though, huge red flag, says all stablecoin issuers must possess the technical capability to seize, freeze, or burn payment stablecoins when legally required, and must comply with lawful orders to do so. So obviously, that's like a huge red flag, and kind of against the whole original thesis of crypto of not having anyone be able to control our money. So yeah, it sets a scary precedent. Um, but on the other hand, the silver lining, I think, is that it's going to bring in like trillions of dollars of cash on chain, which obviously means number go up for us. And also, I do believe that the whole decentralized stablecoin problem isn't an unsolvable problem. So even though we have these rules set out now that are like all stablecoin issuers, like you need to be able to shut it down if we tell you to do so.
Yep.
I think that devs will figure out a decentralized way around that. At least that's my hope. Because if we don't, then these are basically just CBDCs.
Mm-hmm. I do like that the phrasing on that is they have to have the technology and the technical capability to, because that's gonna like hedge out a lot of people that are just like, well, I'm gonna launch a blockbuster stable coin, and some of these
Yeah.
small companies that just are like, ooh, let me lean in. It makes a bigger barrier to entry, unless they're just doing like a stablecoin as a service thing, which bullish on stablecoin as a service then if that's the case.
True. And another thing about that specific wording about that they must possess the technical capability is that technically most of these stablecoin issuers already have that technical capability. It's kind of just it's against the crypto ethos for USDC to just be retracting transactions, but it's like technically they always could have. It's not anything new. It's just now it's like written into law. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to see how it plays out over time to see if it's like really a net negative. But yeah, I don't know. It's a scary precedent for sure, in my opinion.
I do also like the language that it's just like we're gonna establish guidelines. It's like making plans to make plans,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I've always hated that.
I feel like this is the official beginning of the end for the Wild West era of crypto.
Really?
Yeah, like as of now that this is a thing, this is like there's no more can people on chain say anything along the lines of like, oh, I didn't know that that was against the rules, or like people have been bending the rules basically in crypto because there haven't been any rules, there haven't been any like actual laws. And so I feel like now that this is a thing, that whole era is like officially coming to a close. Like there's no more just random oops, I did it on accident and I'm gonna get away with it type stuff.
Interesting. Katia, your eyebrows tell me you have some strong opinions.
Well, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking of this thing. You know how they have those visual illusions where it's a grayscale kind of thing, and a square that looks white over here, if you transpose it to a different place and the page looks black over there, and vice versa, like, or when they're on opposite sides of the page, they look like one looks much darker than the other, but when they're brought together, you realize they're the same color. So it's sort of like that in the sense that what Gail was talking about, how all of these things are taking away from the decentralized nature stablecoins. So he's sort of ringing the alarms on it ending a certain kind of era in crypto. And some of the other stuff I read was people ringing the alarm that this act is going to just destroy banking. It's going to make everything, everything, all crypto mayhem legal, and the Trump coins and everything, just complete chaos. It's gonna. So it's funny to me how another thing that I hear said often is that compromise is when neither side is happy anymore. So,
it's true.
So this is kind of crypto is concerned, like degen crypto is concerned that this is limiting to one of the best innovations that we've had in crypto so far, one of the most useful things. And the non-crypto side is concerned that this is legalizing, everything bad about crypto is being legalized and all together in this one act. So that's funny to me. I think it's neither. I think that crypto can innovate and will innovate to circumvent anything that might be limiting to it in these kinds of legislation. And B, I don't think that we're gonna live in a Mad Max future in a couple of years because the Genius Act was made into law. So I think neither is true, but I do think it's kind of cool that just that it has such strong discussion around it and strong thought leadership around it, and people are really leaning into whatever they're going to do with it. With stable coins, the institutional investors, etc. So it's a real thing. Like it's like there's so much bullshit in crypto as we just discussed.
Yeah.
But this is the real deal, and super curious to see how it affects both TradFi and DeFi going forward.
Well, speaking of the bullshit in crypto, are NFTs back? And the reason I ask this is because we saw headlines that some whale just scooped up 45 CryptoPunks. And everyone's like, is it the time of NFTs again? And I say no. NFTs are not back. This just feels like some whale is like, well, I'm going to do this to see if I can pump my bags by making headlines. And I never thought the NFT like whole community y'all thing was a good thing. So my gut says NFTs are not back, and I don't think they're ever going to come back. But what about you guys?
Yeah, no. I mean, they might come back in some capacity, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not back like in 2021. For sure not because somebody just dropped a few $1,000,000 on CryptoPunks. Like, no way. This guy's confused.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he just likes the art, but
no, you don't spend that much money on that kind of art. You're clearly just doing something.
he's money laundering or he's like buying them so that the first thing I thought of was he must be buying these CryptoPunks so that he can harvest the tax loss when he's down 90% at the end of the year.
I mean, definitely. I could easily see something like that.
It has to be something along those lines.
Yeah, there's it's not just because he's like, I want to revitalize this. No,
I love punks. Yeah, no.
there is a absolute financial incentive and or instrument that's being at play here. Katya, do you agree with us?
I never thought that NFTs were dead in the sense that um, the 2021 kind of NBA Top Shot and Ape, Board Ape era, that was ridiculous. That was like any historic hype, whatever was it, the Dutch tulips or whatever that everybody, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Tulip
Like,
Mania?
yeah, like the first like speculation mania was the
Vince, you
Dutch
for
tulip.
sure know about Tulip Mania.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I understand.
Anyway, the tulips, yeah. But there's always manias, and the, that none of it is reality. But I never thought that NFTs, uh, like, I always thought that the NFT standard has potential in it, whether in that form as it existed then and exists now, or in a different form. But if we want to have, and we do, well, I don't know if we want to, but we will have identity on the blockchain and all kinds of data on the blockchain. Some of it will be non-fungible data, like medical records, birth certificates, things like that. So
Mhm.
it will be some type of NFT form. The standard may evolve significantly, and the NFT standard has evolved. There's the 1155, the ERC that is more advanced than the 721 that it started with. But we will be using NFTs going forward. I am certain of it. That kind of area of it has not been explored, in my opinion, fully, because we still don't have really like ownership titles and things like that on the blockchain to the degree that it's possible to have it. So I think eras like this of hype, they contribute to the development of a piece of the space, NFTs in this case. So there was CryptoKitties, a while back, and in 2017, and that was even before the ERC 721 standard. Like they were some kind of different standard, like a not fully developed NFT standard. And some of the issues with those led to the development of the official 721 standard, and then some of the, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, um, Bored Apes and CryptoPunks and NBA Top Shot are going to be irrelevant as maybe a museum piece, a museum piece that says like, oh, this happened, in history, and
Mhm.
this was worth like 69 million. Can you believe that? No. So like, but NFTs as a technology, I am certain is not going anywhere. Like I'm not going to buy a CryptoPunk not only because I can't afford to, but because I am supremely uninterested in that. But I think saying like, oh, NFTs are dead. I think we're just saying, Bored Apes for millions of dollars are dead. I agree.
Yeah,
But
that is
NFTs are,
definitely what I mean. Like
yeah,
NFTs as a tool, very much still gonna and forever be a
yeah,
thing. NFTs is like a speculation and a community all number go up. No,
WAGMI vehicle? Yeah, no.
yeah.
definitely not. Okay, let's talk about Telegram. Telegram, they just launched the Ton wallet in the US, which certainly feels like a long time coming.
Yeah.
Um, is this interesting? I mean, we all work in the wallet space, so of course it makes it way into our zeitgeist, but does this mean really kind of anything for crypto across the board? For me, I feel like no. This has the opposite problem of the Coinbase wallet, in that it's messaging now with wallet instead of wallet now with messaging. and it just kind of feels very silly.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, had this been 5 years ago, would have been more important and more groundbreaking. But as it is now, is like, cool. Like, I just give it a thumbs up, and that's about it. Um, it's not really relevant. Everyone's trying to pretend that it's relevant, that it's going to bring all of these Telegram users into crypto, and I just don't buy it at all.
I remember, um, so when we were at ETH Denver,
Mm-hmm.
when Mule Mobile was the official wallet, what year was that? 21?
2022. Wow, we all
Oh,
have terrible memories. I think it was
anyway,
something.
yeah, I mean, all the boosting definitely burned that whole event out.
Yeah.
But so I remember people, the people from the Telegram team going around and talking about the wallet back then. They were just
Mm-hmm.
like starting out, and they wanted, like, I remember them coming up to the booth and they wanted to show us something, about the anyway. And I was like, I remember thinking, no. And little by little it developed, and now it's available in the US. And I was reading, and of course they're talking about onboarding people very easily. You can just part of the key is tied to your email and part of the key is tied to your phone number, and so they're separated that way. And so that's how you don't have to remember, you don't have to write down a phrase, etc. And I was thinking, I guess, I don't know, maybe this makes me old in the space now, but I'm one of those people. I will still want I'll be like, okay, but where's my phrase? Like, I
Right.
get it. You can restore it. And it's kind of like, um, it makes me think of this thing, in, my mother, when she was alive, she lived in this, kind of, residential community, which was mostly for like seniors and
Mm-hmm.
like that. And so they had, for their communal spaces like the pool and the gym and things like that, they had these tokens, that physical tokens that you touch to the thing. And then they transitioned to an app on the phone. And this kind of like that to me, like, they were like, but this is much simpler. You have the app on the phone and you open all the like gates with the app on the phone. So it's easier. And I was like, right. So she has to install the app, remember her password, not forget her password, open up the app every time. She can't see it in the sun. She has to like slide the right thing. And so, like, but it's simple, as opposed to her like having a token hanging around her neck that she just touches to the thing and goes through the door.
Yeah.
So the idea of simple is different depending on your point of reference. So for me, when somebody tells me that, I'm like, okay, this is great, but I still want my phrase. Where can I get it, please?
Yeah.
So yeah, every time I see something like that, oh, and it's in your messaging app and it's super simple because it's right here and you have everything in here. And then, but also you have everything in your base app, and also you're going to have everything in your Robinhood app, and you're going to have, and none of them are going to have phrases. And, when you lose your phone or whatever, you're not going to have any of that shit. And, so I'm just kind of like, simple, my understanding of what simple is different.
Yeah. And what I also think is funny is, like, I'm on Telegram all day, every day, on both my phone and on desktop. I've seen nothing in the app to be like, oh, by the way, this is out. Get it now. And so while
Yeah.
while we're having this conversation, I actually found where it is in Telegram desktop. And when you click on it, it goes, you're about to use a mini app operated by an independent party not affiliated with Telegram. You must agree to terms and conditions for use of a mini app to continue. And I'm like, well, that's a big no for me, dog.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading that too right now.
It's crazy. So I guess we'll have to look into this more off mic, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. And to round out this week, let's talk about the FBI. So they dropped
Let's not.
they dropped their investigation on the Kraken founder, Jesse Powell, and returned previously seized devices. This is just kind of yet another in the long string of, crypto people being targeted and then having their cases dropped. I think it's great to see. It definitely destigmatizes, crypto founders and innovation. And I just like to see people, having the law backed off on them. But what about you guys?
100%. This originally happened to Jesse Powell. So this is Jesse Powell, the cool Jesse.
Yep.
He is the co-founder of Kraken.
There's a comic in here, the uncool Jesse and the cool Jesse.
They're both Jesse P too. So
oh my god,
the competition's real. But so this guy Jesse Powell, founder of Kraken, a couple years ago, the FBI raided his house under the premise that he was hacking and cyber stalking a company or a fund or like a public something that he created in the past. So it was all just silly from the get-go, in my opinion. And it's cool to see that in this new administration, I mean, maybe it has nothing to do with the new administration, but it's cool to see that now in 2025, crypto people are getting their stuff back. Things that were seized years ago are being returned.
Yeah.
What he didn't comment on was whether the crypto was still there. So it's like maybe the government took all his Bitcoin for the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Like, who knows?
I mean, I feel like if that was the case, I would like put that on a billboard.
He probably would have said something by now. True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one thing that people aren't really talking about is nobody knows if the crypto's still there. So
yeah. Interesting. Katya?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that makes me angry in these cases is, maybe they're not making it public, but I think they genuinely not saying anything. Like, okay, so we thought that this was happening, but we came to the conclusion that it wasn't happening. So that is why it's just like, he's doing fine. He has been doing fine. But in a lot of cases, a person's life can be ruined. And it's just like, oh, never mind.
Whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah.
There's no statement to the effect that it doesn't have to be we made a boo-boo and we were wrong, but it
made a boo-boo and we were wrong. Sorry.
Sorry. But in terms of these were the reasons why the investigation was ongoing. These are the reasons that it's dropped now, as opposed to we have a new king who says it's okay, so whatever. Here's your shit. So it just leaves a bad taste.
Yeah.
With me, and I'm sure it leaves a bad taste no matter which side of it you're on. If you think that crypto is dangerous and you wish there was more informed investigation into it, you would also want more information. Why he's not investigated anymore, etc. So it's just I don't know, it's just a very kind of irresponsible look to all of it.
At the end of the day, my fear is when this administration is out, do all of these people that had all these cases just go back on the naughty list?
Yeah.
And is that just going to be this blowback in a way that's or I don't know. But
good question.
But we've got several years before we have to come to that. But what we don't have to wait several years for? The next episode of this podcast, because we're going to wrap this one up right now, and we will see you again next week. Thank you, dear listener, for listening. Make sure you leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. We've been doing pretty good over there as well. And we will see you next week for more in crypto that you are going to want to know. Thanks, guys.
Bye.